welcome to the 88th installment of Em Alejandro, your number one place for sports, cars, video games, fitness. If you're a man, you're here. Miss Alejandro, about to tell him.
What you about to tell him, Alejandro?
I'm about to tell him about last night's 4 NBA games. The Memphis Grizzlies' thrilling comeback against the Sacramento Kings. The Chicago Bulls' battle against the Toronto Raptors that left Derrick Rose injured. The Philadelphia 76ers kept up their losing streak against the Dallas Mavericks, and the Golden State Warriors brought it to the Brooklyn Nets.
Tell him, Alejandro!
The Sacramento Kings lost to the Memphis Grizzlies 110-111, and it was a juicy, plump, filled, thick game. Oh my goodness. This game ended so sexy. Let me get to it. First of all, the Sacramento Kings in this game had a 26-point lead, and it evaporated to the Grizzlies at home in Memphis. The Grizzlies came back when, at the end, Ben McLemore for the Sacramento Kings missed 2 free throws, which would have gave the Kings a 3-point lead, and with 0.3 of a second left in the game, the Memphis Grizzlies inbounded the ball to an alley-oop layup to Courtney Lee, and the Memphis Grizzlies won the game. This is pathetic from the Sacramento Kings because not only did they lose a 26-point lead, but the other night on Tuesday against the Dallas Mavericks, they had a 24-point lead, and they lost that game too. I don't know what's going on with the Kings. I know that they're young, but you got to find a way to close these games out. You're up by 20-plus points. As for the Memphis Grizzlies, they worked hard. They fought for it. Even though they were out-rebounded 44-30, they found a way to put in some work. Shout out to Mike Conley, even though he's looking crazy right now. He needs to go to the barber. He had a great game. A lot of cats are saying that he's an underrated point guard. I don't think he's an underrated point guard anymore. The Grizzlies in 9 games, they've won 8. They've lost 1. They're on the map now. I feel like the Western Conference is going to win the NBA championship this year. It doesn't matter who comes out the East. I think the Cavs are going to come out the East, but it doesn't matter. The West is just that superior to the East. And the Grizzlies are a threat to the San Antonio Spurs. The Mavericks are also. So the Grizzlies on the map. I like Marc Gasol. I like Big Zach Randolph. He's a goon in the paint. He don't play that. And my man, half amazing, Vince Carter, gunned down 3 threes in the 4th quarter to help the Grizzlies come back from 26 points. The Grizzlies, I see y'all. This right here was a possible future playoff game in the Eastern Conference. The Chicago Bulls defeated the Toronto Raptors 100-93. Both teams' record is 7-2. It was a great game. Drake was in attendance. The game was held in Canada, and at the end of the game, something bad happened. I'm gonna get to it. But first of all, the Raptors were down 18 points at one point in the game. It was because of the 3rd quarter. The Bulls destroyed the Raptors in the 3rd quarter, 35-14. The Raptors fought back and cut it down to 5 with less than 2 minutes in the game, but the Bulls were just a little bit better than the Raptors on this day. A few notables were, first of all, the Bulls. In their 9 games played, they've scored 100 points or more. In 7 of their 9 games, the Bulls have improved offensively, obviously because they added Derrick Rose, who's finally healthy for once, and they added Pau Gasol, who's been balling. They also added a few other players, but Pau has been the standout. I thought that Nikola Mirotić would be the standout for this team, and Pau has just been putting in work. He had a double. He had 27 points and 11 boards. For the Raptors, James Johnson stood out to me big time. He came off the bench. He put in mad work. He played with a lot of energy, a lot of effort. He had 5 fouls. I like the 5 fouls out of James Johnson. Some people are going to say, Mr. Alejandro, you're crazy. Fouls are not good. Fouls are good from a guy who comes off the bench, can't really dribble the ball, but he can play defense. He can rebound, play with energy. That means that he was playing with some type of activity. He also added 4 steals and 4 blocks. He came off the bench like, yo, anybody in the way, you catching this elbow right here. That's why he had the 2 elbow sleeves and the headband. He's playing very gritty. I like to see a player play like that. Also, for the Toronto Raptors, Double D, DeMar DeRozan struggled. He shot 3 for 17 this game. And the game prior to this against the Orlando Magic, he shot 4 for 15. So to have Double D struggle and then have James Johnson come off the bench and give the team that energy, the Toronto Raptors are playing very good. I think that they are sliding into my top 4 in the Eastern Conference. I had in this order the Cavs, Bulls, Wizards, and Hornets. But I think definitely the Raptors are better than the Hornets. Right now, I think the Raptors are probably the 2nd best team in the East. By the end of this regular season, we'll see where they are. The Raptors have impressed me, and I want to see them do good. Not to mention, the Raptors played the Wizards the other day, and they smoked them. So the Raptors definitely are better than the Wizards also right now, too. Also, 2 other notables, my mans, Jimmy Butler, Mr. Cardio, what?
I got stamina.
Mr. Cardio played another 40 minutes. He had a strong, solid, all-around game, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. I like Jimmy Butler, and I also see his progression. I think the Bulls are really, really sneaking up on the Cavs because I picture the Cavs to be a phenomenal team by the end of the season. I think when the Cavs and the Bulls go at it, it's going to be popping. Another notable was my man's Joakim Noah, the defensive player of the year. What stood out to me about Noah's game? Of course, the energy. The 8 rebounds is a good look. The 3 steals, the block. But what stood out for me was the 6 assists from Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah was in transition. He was bouncing the ball in fast break, looking left, looking right, bam, hitting Mike Dunleavy for the ratchet. I like Joakim Noah's game. His passing, it always impresses me to see a big man do things like that and help his team however he can. Now we got to talk about the juicy ending I was telling you about. Derrick Rose in the 4th quarter with less than 2 minutes left in the game got injured again. No! I know. It's painful. Now recently, Derrick Rose was under scrutiny because he did an interview and he basically spoke about how he's looking out for himself, his family, and his future. He's looking out for his body. He wants to take care of himself. And if he misses a few games, he's doing it for the future. He got a lot of criticism from fans and local sports broadcasters.
I was just worrying about myself, just worrying about my future like every player in the league does. And I don't know, I probably just think different. It's only my 7th year, but I think further on into my career, further on into my life, just trying to plan things out. And I think people took that out of term and took it out of content, and it is what it is, but I was being myself, and that's all I could be, so I could care less.
Now, I heard the interview. I think what Derrick Rose said, the wordplay was nasty. I don't think he should have said that. I don't know if he's getting the wrong guidance. I don't know. But I do think some people are being a little bit too critical about Derrick Rose. He had 2 significant, serious knee injuries in the past 2 seasons. And when you're an athlete, you feel like you're Superman, just like Mr. Alejandro. But then when you start to get injured, you begin to see your mortality. And then you're like, whoa, hold on, let me slow down, let me take care of myself. So obviously he's looking out for himself. I think Rose, on the real, zip it! Just continue to play basketball and play at a high level, because when you're on the court, buddy, you are phenomenal. As for his interviews right now, don't look too much into it. On to the next game. The Philadelphia 76ers lost to the Dallas Mavericks 70-123. This game was an embarrassment.
Must be kidding me.
This looked like a high school team versus grown men. The Philadelphia 76ers have played 8 games. They've lost all 8. The organization is intentionally losing these games. They're tanking. They're setting their team up in a way where they have bad players, and they basically go out there and produce nothing on the court. Now, the whole purpose of this is to get a top draft pick, draft a beast coming out of college, and eventually in a few years, you're going to have a good team. And believe it or not, this is the right way to build a team. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. How do you think they got Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka when they got all those guys? And Jeff Green. They drafted those guys. You have to stink, get good draft picks, and draft cats. But if you're in the middle, that's never a good thing. When you're in the NBA, you want to be on the top and be a championship contender, or you want to be extremely bad and draft goons coming out of college. So the Sixers are doing the right thing. Michael Carter-Williams, MCW, returned from an injury. It's good to see him back. The Sixers also have Nerlens Noel, who did not play tonight, and they also have Joel Embiid, 3 young cats that you're going to be hearing from in a few years. As for the Mavericks, this was their biggest win in franchise history. They won by 53 points. At halftime, the Mavericks had 73 points. And since the Sixers finished the game with a total of 70 points, the Mavericks didn't have to score a point in the second half, and they still would have won this game by 3 points. But you know what's a stunner here? Believe it or not, as bad as the Sixers are, they are only 1 game behind the Los Angeles Lakers. That goes to show you how bad the Los Angeles Lakers are and how that organization has completely crumbled. As for Kobe Bryant, I want to see Kobe do good, but there's been some rumors about the Lakers trading Kobe to the New York Knicks. I don't want Kobe nowhere near my New York Knicks. Just letting y'all know, simply because the NBA is a salary cap league and Kobe Bryant is paid like a top athlete in the NBA, and Kobe Bryant is 35 years old, buddy, and he has injury problems now. I don't want that max salary near my team. If Kobe wants to play for the New York Knicks, which is only a rumor by the way, I would want him to take a pay cut similar to Tim Duncan, similar to Dirk Nowitzki, but you can't take a pay cut after you've already signed the contract. So cut the rumors out right now. This rumor basically started because people see that Phil Jackson's with the Knicks, a former Laker. People see Derek Fisher's with the Knicks, a former Laker. Another former Laker, Rick Fox, was talking about how he could see Kobe Bryant creeping over to the Knicks. Carmelo Anthony, the New York Knicks star, is friends with Kobe Bryant. Stop the rumor right now. I don't want Kobe Bryant coming anywhere near my New York Knicks. Next, my Brooklyn Nets went against the Golden State Warriors and they lost 99-107. Now, whenever my New York teams are involved in a late West Coast game, I always stay up and watch it. But especially when the Golden State Warriors are involved and the Golden State Warriors are at home, because the Warriors crowd always turns up. I love it, and one day I would love to go to a Golden State Warriors game in Oakland. Now, before the game even started, I saw Hulk Hogan in attendance, hyping up the crowd and promoting next year's WrestleMania. I'm a big-time wrestling fan growing up, so whenever I see Hulk Hogan, I get excited. Now, entering this game, the Golden State Warriors led the NBA in turnovers with 21.9 turnovers per game. That's awful. But this game, they only had 10 turnovers. That's a good look. Throughout the game, the Golden State Warriors out-muscled the Brooklyn Nets when it comes to rebounding. 41 rebounds to 45. Now you say that's not a lot of rebounds, right? That's only a 4 rebound difference. But what was impressive was the 14 offensive rebounds by the Golden State Warriors, specifically from Andrew Bogut. He had 14 rebounds. Of his 14 rebounds, 7 of them were offensive rebounds. He was a beast on the glass. I like playing with a player like this because you could just chuck up some basura and brick, and then Bogut's gonna clean it up like a vacuum. He was beasting Brook Lopez. He beasted out Mason Plumlee. Kevin Garnett had no impact on the game. Nobody was saying anything to Bogut down on the paint. If Bogut can stay healthy, which I don't think he can, unfortunately, the Warriors are a legitimate threat. And Bogut also chipped in 5 assists and 4 blocks. In my opinion, Andrew Bogut was the player of the game. I also have to show the Golden State Warriors love because of the emergence of Klay Thompson. Last time I was talking about Klay Thompson, I destroyed him, and I even destroyed the Golden State Warriors. You're going to have to click right down there to relive the moment. Now, Klay Thompson has completely improved his game offensively and defensively. Now he can score off the dribble. Now he can guard players. Klay Thompson, I slept on him. I got to show him some love. I definitely slept on Klay Thompson. He put in mad work last night with the ratchet. He was wet. He had 4 3-pointers. With his emergence, the Warriors are definitely up there. I want to see them play the Spurs. I want to see them play the Grizzlies. I don't believe in the Los Angeles Clippers right now in the Western Conference. Just my opinion. Another player that showed up was Draymond Green. He got additional minutes because David Lee, the starting power forward for the Golden State Warriors, was injured and did not play. Draymond Green had a very good overall game. 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Shout out to Draymond Green. Shout out! Now, as for my Brooklyn Nets, one of the players that stepped up was Jarrett Jack. Jarrett Jack was going against his former team, the Golden State Warriors. He's repping the Brooklyn Nets now. He had a strong game, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But what stood out to me was the fact that he attempted 10 shots and he made 10 shots. Clearly, he was upset with his former team and he wanted to let them know about it. Now, as for the state of my Brooklyn Nets right now, they've played 8 games. They're 4-4. And there's a little hoopla going on in the locker room right now. Recently, our star of the team, Joe Johnson, was running his mouth talking about, oh, well, there's some players on the team that are very selfish offensively. They're not passing the ball, blah, blah, blah. Well, the other night, when I was watching the Brooklyn Nets, late in the game against the Phoenix Suns, Joe Johnson turned the ball over trying to force the ball into a double team. And it was like, buddy, pass the basketball. You the one talking about people are selfish, but it looks to me like you lost faith in your teammates and you're not blessing them and giving them the rock anymore. Right now, I feel like the veteran Kevin Garnett and our head coach, Lionel Hollins, needs to get the group of guys together, settle down. If we have issues between one another, we sit down like grown men, because we're men and we're here. We talk to one another. We don't go to the media and start talking to the media, and we don't go on Twitter and start tweeting out basura. Let each other know face to face, and we work on those things. So Brooklyn Nets, please step it up, son. Tonight's sleek and silver bow tie is brought to you by Count to Tomorrow. Here we go. Bang! Tune in for more sports, cars, video game, fitness, and all that. Follow at Em Alejandro to hear my immediate reaction to live sports events. Or, if you want to hear me cover a certain team or topic, tell them, out your music. As for the Derrick Rose injury, I really want to see him get back healthy. As for someone like me, who's the biggest, strongest, baddest person on the planet, and someone who exercises, I can only imagine how it is to constantly rehabilitate and then have to go through that mental struggle of constantly getting hurt. Oh man, I gotta go through this and that. I want to see him get back healthy because we know what he's capable of. And if you ain't noticed, tell him Em Alejandro Studios is making come-ups. Today, we have officially retired the original TEA background. Thank you to everyone who's been watching from the beginning. Let's get it. Let's get it. TEA. Woo. TEA. TEA. Woo. Woo. TEA.